Some people don't believe in luck. I believe in luck. I've been a sportsman my whole life, and I know that there's a lot of luck happens in sport. And I've been a lucky person. I'm sure, you know, I've had some bad luck as well, but I just think that, yeah, I'm in such a blessed place that for me not to share that with the world would just wouldn't feel right to me.
It's stuck. I think it's stuck. Oh, it sounds basic, but it's really fun. We can all remember at some stage in our lives when someone gave us a little bit of a helping hand and we benefited from it.
I have been on the receiving end of so many amazing things, but to be on the receiving end of something, someone somewhere has had to be giving. Samoans are really well known for their generosity, and I'm not quite sure where that comes from, but I think it stems back to just the communal living. And when I look at how people live in the villages, Samoans and Polynesians, I think are always sort of wanting to share and give and just make sure that the people around them are being looked after in a nice way. I think growing up and being in a household where my parents were very generous and very community-minded, and often, you know, doing quite a lot of work to help others, it just made me realise that, you know, while you have your own life to live and your own daily challenges and, you know, the things that you have on your plate, is always having, you know, a bit of energy or time or an eye for other people.
So my father was, he was a grumpy old farmer really, but he had a kind heart. He had two things. He really cared about his community, and he also liked to fix a problem. The world is full of problems and just one of us can't fix it. And it's often, you think, well, it's a bit hopeless. I'm not trying to fix all the world's problems. I'm just hoping to kind of help a few people rise up a little in their own circumstances.
I'm not out to change the world. We're just out to change a small part of our community. But if we can do that, and then someone else is doing that in their community, and then someone else is doing that in their community, then collectively we're making a huge change. So what my parents set up was what they called at the time the Pacific Island Youth After School Program. And it ran for, well over a decade. I'd like to think it was probably close to 2 decades, until my mother actually died in a car accident, and things sort of lost momentum from there. What came out of that was essentially me going to my dad and then the wider community and saying, look, I can't keep the after school program going, but what I can do is create opportunities for the Pacifica youth in outdoor education. That is my skill set, that is my field, that is my expertise.
Oh, you guys got the easy way.
Yeah, you gotta fry it off.
You've got to go with something that you actually feel a connection to, something that really interests you, that really speaks to you. My husband grew up in Porirua in Cannons Creek, and I drive past their old house every time I go up there because I go and visit the Cannons Creek Boxing Academy, I go and visit Wellfed, I go and visit the Te Ara Moana Trust where kids are learning water safety skills. So I really get out of myself and see what's going on. I hang out.
Oh my gosh, guys.
I'm the patron of Whenua Outdoors, which is an outdoor education centre based in Lower Moutere in Tasman Bay. And what became quite apparent to me quite early on was that we can run some amazing programs. But, you know, we spend that money once and then it's all gone. Is there any way of making the money last longer? And that really led me to the top of the South Community Foundation.
It's not easy to give money away thoughtfully and well. With the Nikau Foundation, it's an endowment trust model, which I think sometimes is called a forever fund. So you hand over your lump sum to them, and then your capital is not distributed. The income from the capital is distributed annually. Nikau draws me up a kind of short list, and then I choose which ones I want to distribute to.
One of the things I really like about it is that the money that my mother and father worked so hard to generate, to create, is now protected. Well, that can't be touched. That is essentially locked away, and the interest from that is going back into the community each year. Another big benefit I see of the top of the South Community Foundation is they have professional fund managers. I mean, we could manage the trust ourselves, but honestly, we would be amateurs at it.
I think the main thing for me is that Nikau does all the boring things for me. They do the admin, they do the compliance, they do the financials. So then it's not a burden for you. And you can be involved as much and or as little as you wish. Look at that! Oh, I love that smell too.
I think it's a healthy thing to do. I think that my philosophy is that anyone who is in a position to even think about giving has obviously been very blessed and fortunate in their life to be in that position. And it's about sort of giving back and sharing.
Hopefully I've achieved a bit of good in the world. Hopefully some people have had some positive outcomes from the money that I've invested in them. You know, the more it goes on, the more I've been included as part of the family with some of those organisations, particularly well fed. Oh my God, that's so good. And I just, tell them how wonderful they are, which is absolutely true, and off I go again.
I think for me, it just means that, as I age, I can just look back on life and go, I did my bit. I made a contribution, and hopefully it's made a difference.